Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. It's a Sunday. It's a fun day. That's because we're going to be talking about cricket. And we love cricket. And you love cricket. And that's why we are all here. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Mr. Ajay Jadeja, Mr. Zaheer Khan, as per usual. No changes in our squad. Well, we got more than a few in India's team today, as expected. Actually, there's 4 changes. One, of course, the first one where MS Dhoni's taken a rest. Well, he was in Ranchi, so he thought that might as well just stay at home, right?
So last 3 games there were no changes.
Yeah,
This is the 4th game, 4 changes, 1 per game.
That's right. Because we were talking about that, right, Ajay? That the Indian team doesn't really go into consecutive matches with similar 11s, without changes. So today they said that old ad, no, पूरे घर के बदल डालूंगा.
Yeah,
Everybody gets the game.
Bilkul. I think they've changed again, and I thought when we saw the second and the third game with a consistent side, that's what now probably Indian team is settled with. They're now going to the World Cup. Last few games, let's look to play with one side. Maybe change if somebody gets injured or somebody who's injured may come back, but that's the style they were going to play. But suddenly now you see another 4 changes, and the most interesting one for me is Raidu for KL Rahul.
Yeah.
Because the other changes you can understand. Shami gets a rest, Bhuvi comes in, Chel comes in place of Ravindra. Although I feel it's unfair on
It is unfair on Ravindra, but I will agree with you. You were saying batting up till 8 is a bit too much.
Yeah,
right?
so I'm saying those you can still understand, but they were still not sure about that number 4 because we heard Kohli, I think a month ago or somewhere in a press conference, where he said, now I think we're ready with 4. Raidu is our number 4.
I mean, he's been saying it since October. He called it in October and reiterated it many times.
Many times. And then a couple of innings here and there, and then he's gone. So, another man who'll, go back into that state of mind, because don't forget, you've done this to KL Rahul, you've done this to many other players, and it's not easy on a player who's not a certainty to be in and out with every couple of innings, because, yes, you want to get them to perform every inning, but it's not going to happen. They are not Virat Kohli's. They are not Rohit Sharma's. That's why they are in that position.
Yeah.
If you expect people to deliver as Virat Kohli, Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Rohit Sharma, then you would have a team full of those, which is, we would love to have a team like that in India. But at the end of the day, they are not the same caliber. In fact, they should be getting a longer run than these great players, whereas I'm seeing it the other way around.
That is quite interesting. But also with this 11 now, Zach, does Virat bat at 4?
Looks like it, isn't it?
Because
they've tried KL Rahul at that number for a long time. You've heard from Ravi Shastri a while ago that maybe he wants Virat to bat at number 4. That happened, I think, in the England series when they tried that option. KL Rahul batting at number 3 and then Virat coming at number 4. Now, if you look at the last few matches, we've been not getting the start which we've been used to. Indian team has been used to a certain kind of start. Shikhar has not been able to put
It's rare. These top order misfires are rare. I'll pull the numbers up for you as well.
So what if the English conditions are going to create those kind of scenarios? How are we going to tackle it? Maybe the option is Virat batting at number 4. I personally don't agree with that.
You like him at 3?
I think that's a very negative kind of a move. That's a very defensive move. I would say that you are actually protecting your best batsman. Your best batsman should be given enough opportunity, and he's used to batting at number 3. Why change it? So if Virat is batting at number 4, I think that's not a good sign for Indian team going forward.
If Raidu was not playing at 4, I don't know, but from whatever we've seen in the last 6-7 games that he's played, Vijay Shankar looks quite ripe for 4, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's looked good. I mean, he's looked good at any number that he's played. In New Zealand, he batted at 3. In that 2020 over game, he looked the part then. The other day when he was, I don't know, I think he walked out before Mahendra Singh Dhoni when they had a partnership with Virat Kohli. And, he looked the part, not just the part, but he looked, better in that little partnership of theirs. Unfortunately, he got run out when Virat hit that straight drive, so no fault of his, he gets out that day. But on that particular day, he looked as good as, or if not better than Virat in that little innings of that. So he's looked outstanding. So he can fit in wherever. He's shown that. Rishabh Pant, so what happens now is that you brought Rishabh Pant, so he's a batsman, he came into the side for his batting, not for his wicket keeping.
Yeah.
And so now with looking at this order, if Rahul's there and then Virat, even if he goes to 4 or 3, then there is no chance for even Rishabh Pant to come at 5. So you're looking at a young man to do a job that Mahendra Singh Dhoni used to do at 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So that's a little tough. I thought if Rishabh Pant was playing, if there was Virat going to move and give an opportunity, and I'm with him, Virat should bat at 3, and that's the best place for him. Because teams lead, you got to win from the front, I believe that.
And give the guy as many deliveries, as much time in the middle.
So 4 would have been, I would be happier to see Rishabh Pant at 4, because you are still looking at what this man can offer you.
True.
And if he can offer you the kind of stroke play that he's shown for a longer period of time, that would probably be more fruitful than just using him at the slog, because at the slog it's a different story.
My question about KL Rahul is, what is his ideal position to bat? I think we've discussed this before. Opening, I think both of you have agreed that he's an opener. He's not a number 4 guy. He's done well in the T20 series as an opener. But today, perforce, he has to bat at 3. Or will you see Virat coming at 3?
His ideal position is number 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I still remember the point which Jad had made earlier. He likes to set the tone of the match. He likes to set the tone, which is aggressive tone, depending on the conditions. He likes to play his shots, and that's something which helps him build his innings. He feels more comfortable when he's setting the tone of the match, tone of the innings, and that's something which we've seen it with him as well. And that's probably one of the reasons he's not been able to do the other job which was expected of him when he was in good form, which is batting at number 4 or looking to play that finishes role. Seen him enough now. So I think for the management also, they've been very transparent with him in terms of communication and telling him that if you are playing for us, you're going to be playing in that number 1, number 2.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that whether KL Rahul opens with Shikhar today and they push Rohit down to number 3, which we've seen.
That's an interesting one.
So that's also a possibility. Again, shouldn't be the case. Because then you're actually just going by the result of last few ODIs where you've not got the ideal start which we've been seeing often, and the team is used to seeing it.
Yeah.
So that is something which again I think. So this innings of Indian
these
team,
dodgy starts. These are the till a month and a half ago we were talking about this indestructible top order, and India only wins when 1, 2, 3 or one of them gets runs, right? And the middle order was underperforming. In the last 6, 7 games, it's become the opposite.
So that's why today's match is very important. This first inning is very, very important.
And India batting first after winning the toss.
Not only from the point of view that how the series is standing, I think from the point of view that how the team management is thinking.
Yeah.
That's something which we'll understand after seeing what kind of batting order is there.
I have a question for you. A probable scenario. Yeah. Let's see if you put India in Australia's position from the last game. Let's say our opening partnership, you've got Rohit and Shikhar going and they get 193 opening stand, right? Then who comes at 3?
193.
Let's say they get a 193 stand like Finch and Khwaja got, right? You reverse the situation. Let's say Rohit and Shikhar today get a 193 run stand in whatever 33, 34 overs that they did. Who comes into bat then?
I would send in Pant.
Oh, nice.
Look, if you give me 193 at that stage.
Yeah.
But, first let's see who comes out to open. Because I think he's given us a very interesting scenario because if you think of it, the man at the other end, not because of his form, I'm saying, even Mumbai Indians does this very often, takes Rohit to 4.
Yeah.
So what?
No, not very often. They only do that. And will they do it this season as well?
I hope not.
Well, somebody sitting with us can tell us. No. Zach, I'm going to pull out all the clips where last year we were discussing and we all wanted Rohit to open, including you. I'm cutting a montage. You're director of cricket now, all right? Don't go back on your word now.
So where do you think Rohit should bat?
Open.
Exactly. So everyone knows that.
That's today. I am saying
I hope
6
today,
weeks coming up.
I hope today that doesn't change.
Zach is given a good politician answer. He veered the topic completely away.
No.
But we'll talk about that IPL later. Let's talk about these 2 games first. But you got to open, right, with Rohit and Shikhar. If you're looking at them as a pair, and you have to look at them as a pair over the last 4 or 5 years, they've given you tremendous success. And you've always pegged them as openers for the World Cup.
One more thing from today's team you can make out.
Yeah.
They want to give Shikhar that confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though he's having a tough run last 15, 17 ODIs, I think the message is very clear that we really want you to be there.
Yeah.
start scoring runs, and will create a scenario for you around you. So that is something, a message is very clear. That's why you're seeing Shikhar Dhawan still playing. Otherwise, it would have been a straight swap. Like, with all the others, there has been a straight swap. Rishabh Pant has come in for MS, who is rested. Shami has been rested.
Bhuvi's coming.
You got Bhuvi's
Chahal's coming for Jadeja.
They've again kind of going with that thought process that we need 2 leggies in the middle overs. It's fine. We can go little batsman batting light. Also, Bhuvneshwar Kumar comes in at number 8. So they've stuck to the process which we've seen in the past as well, which is having that number 8 player who can contribute with the bowler, who can contribute with the bat as well. That's why Yuzvendra Chahal comes back in.
So I like the fact that Kulcha are playing together again, right? You can call them Kulcha, you can call them Chaku. I don't know, whichever name you like more, right? Which one do you like more, Zach? Zach reacted more to Chaku.
Yeah. Chaku is sounding interesting.
Chaku is nice, no? Because they cut the middle overs, they cut the other team like a hot knife through butter. Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But if you put that butter on kulcha and eat it, it's even tastier.
The problem is right now.
Hashtag Sunday brunch for the win.
The problem is everyone is moving towards diet food and very food conscious. So no one likes to put butter. That's why kulcha has been seeing the success which they've been seeing.
White butter. White butter.
थोड़ा लगाते रहो, काम चलता है.
हल्का सा मक्खन तो हम भी लगाते हैं. But listen, these two. There was a time up till I think South Africa, so about a year and 3 months ago, they were regularly playing in ODI cricket. Then suddenly that combination got broken up, right? So even in England, you just saw them in a couple of matches. Then in Australia, New Zealand against West Indies, you just didn't see them bowling together. So Ajay, your thoughts on this pair, and are they integral to bowl together? I mean, should it be a non-negotiable?
Look, it depends on the captain how he uses them.
Yeah.
With these two, if you see, Kuldeep cannot be used in the first power play, and we've seen over the last year or so that every time he's held a couple of overs back, the last 2 overs, maybe the last game is a rare where he didn't go for plenty, but mostly he goes for plenty in the last 2 overs that he's always held back.
So you got to bowl him between 10 and 40.
Yeah, he's most effective when the batsman is not trying to get after him.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of this innings where he doesn't provide that pace, and the batsman has to do all the working. And when you don't know which way it's spinning, it makes it even more difficult. Even that single that you need that little pace.
Yeah.
Whereas with Chahal, I think Chahal is a better bowler. Even the numbers may not look, but as a captain, as a person who looks at the game differently, I think he's a bowler who I can get him to bowl at different times. He can change his line. He can go, all the way on the onside. Then he goes outside the off stump. It's not just one kind of bowling that Chahal does. So Chahal is a bowler that you need around Kuldeep for Kuldeep to have more success, because Kuldeep has to be in a certain stage. It's very similar to what Mohammad Shami is.
Yeah.
Mohammad Shami in the middle stages of the game is probably the best. I mean, leave Bumrah out, but even a choice between Bhuvneshwar and Mohammad Shami would be what? If you're going to bowl at the top and at the death, then Bhuvneshwar is much better, because at the death he adds a little more. At the top they're both the same, but in the middle Shami is better. So like that, Kuldeep is the guy who actually is best, no matter what the scenario is, in the middle of the innings with 5 fielders in. I think he's a better bowler.
Yeah, and will be a challenge as well for Australia, right? I mean, to get the spin twins attacking them from both ends is a challenge for Australia. But Zach, I also want to say that they were regularly bowling together when Hardik was at 7, right? I don't know if I'm trying to draw a pattern out of something that doesn't exist, perhaps. But
no, that has been the pattern.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about it. So the reason Kuldeep and Chahal has not been playing together lately is that in between Chahal just lost his rhythm, and that wicket taking ability has gone down. So that's why he had been taken out and given that break, and he responded very well to that. But apart from that, I think it's just the strengthening of the batting which was concerned, and maybe having that number 7, number 8. So when Hardik is there, that gives them more confidence.
Yeah.
With Vijay Shankar, what is happening is he's not able to give you those many overs consistently, or he's still figuring out a way of providing those number of overs when he's bowling. So that's something which is changing the balance.
Yeah.
So the thought process of retaining that balance, which the playing 11, the team management and everyone is feeling comfortable with after the discussions, has not been able to be achieved without having to play that one bowler who is contributing with the bat. If you go with Ajay's thinking, what he's been talking about, that backing those 5 bowlers, then I think these two bowlers would have been certainty in the team.
Yeah.
So I think it's just to do with the thought process, and we have to just see and analyze that, how the whole thought process and the changes are happening.
The difference when, people were saying that Vijay Shankar is man-for-man replacement for Hardik Pandya, probably not accurate, because Hardik perhaps veering more towards the side of a bowling all-rounder, whereas Vijay Shankar is more veering on the side of a batting all-rounder. And that's the slight difference of a few overs to bowl that comes in over there. All right, listen, there are 2 teams playing today. There's Australia as well. I think we should talk about them just a little bit, real quick. Let's look at the Australia 11 for the game today. Remember, Aaron Finch lost the toss, so they're going to be bowling first. That's what Virat Kohli said. We will bat first. That's what happens with Sunday cricket, right? You win the toss, you bat first. That's what we did in gully cricket. You've got Ashton Turner, who's come back in for Peter Hanscom, and Behrendorff gets the game in place of Lyon. This is one that you predicted, Ajay. You both said actually that day that they will not play 2 spinners. So Lyon sits out. Zampa, of course, is still in. And they've got Behrendorff, Richardson and Cummins as their pace trio. And Ashton Turner coming in for Hanscom, which I don't know what you make of that.
Look, I was for that for a long time, because Hanscom, and I think the teams realize that as well. When the games that they've won, there's no role from Hanscom. Because, it's like he was being used as a valve that if something goes wrong, we'll put that valve. But then you're not looking to win. So now that they've won, they figured out if we do well enough, and there must be confidence with the captain as well. He's got back-to-back good innings. He had been struggling, so they were playing one batsman short. So the captain actually picks a team looking at what he feels and what the team environment is. So I think they're much more confident. They don't want somebody at 5 and 6 who's a solid player, because Hanscom is that. He can, maneuver the game, but not like push the game.
But Sean Marsh is there now at 4, so that role gets
So I think that's why they've been probably made this change. And I'm a little surprised. I mean, I thought that Australia would do this, but to leave Nathan Lyon out on this ground is not a very good idea. And unfortunately, they've lost the toss as well. So they're going to be bowling first. If it was the evening, then these 3 seamers, third seamer would have been more helpful. If there is dew, there will be some dew. I just got a call from...
from dew?
Yeah, dew. Mountain dew.
Mountain dew.
Sir, mountain pass mein hai na?
The mountain is close by. From the mountain comes the dew.
Yeah. So
they're not even our sponsors. We're just giving them a free plug.
So in the afternoon, the spinner would have been useful. This ground is very short. Samne, straight ground is very short, but the sides are very big. And the way he's been bowling, Nathan Lyon, if you see, he's been bowling around the wicket. He's keeping everything tight. So if you have to hit him, you have to hit him at mid-wicket and square leg. He's not been hit at long on, long off much. It is all on this side. So the ground is actually bigger on this side. If he was bowling over the wicket, yes, I would leave him out. But he bowled round the wicket in Australia against us. He's bowled round the wicket here.
He's only been bowling round the wicket from the recent past, from what I remember.
So he's been keeping it tight. So if you see all the boundaries that have come against him, mostly are actually flicked down the leg side, first 2-3 overs. Maybe, the other thing is maybe they're keeping him as a secret weapon. Because Australia, when they're thinking much further. I think they're thinking further than us. They're sure of what they have. They don't have the same pressures that the Indian captain, the Indian coach, and the Indian selectors have. The pressure from all of us, the Indian public, actually puts more pressure. So there is, when they make a decision, they have to think of that, whereas the Australians don't have to think of that.
Yeah, that is quite interesting though, because you played at Mohali quite a fair bit. The Mohali surface has also changed a bit, right? Because I remember 10-15 years ago, it used to be like green and it was giving the seamers something. You probably, all you fast bowlers used to love bowling at Mohali.
Absolutely. I think with the Australian thinking, I'll talk about the base thinking of Australians. How exactly they've made this change of leaving Nathan Lyon out and bringing Behrendorff. If we have to look at the Indian bowling attack, what we've been talking about, we've been saying that stick to your strength. You have Kuldeep and Chahal, make them play. What is Australians' strength? Their strength is their pace bowling, which was proven in the last game as well. their seamers got about 6 wickets between them.
It was Cummins
Changed the game. The
and
wicket
Richardson.
was helping the spin as well, little bit. In the second innings, because there was no dew, actually the spinners had come into play.
Yeah.
Even on those surfaces, the spin has not been effective. Zampa got wickets, had that kind of impact, but the impact wasn't in terms of run saving.
Yeah.
So I think looking at that, they just gone back to backing the strengths. So their strength has been fast bowling over the years. Also, they're saying, okay, fine, we'll just back our strengths. If the wicket has some assistance for spin bowling, then you have Turner as well. Turner has been bowling 3-4 overs, 5 overs. So between Maxwell, Turner, and Zampa, you can get 20 overs out.
Yeah.
Or if someone is bowling really well, you can probably have more overs out of them. So that has been the thought process. But you stick to your strength, which is your core. Has been the fast bowling. Pat Cummins has been in good form. Jai Richardson has been impressive. Behrendorff also has been impressive with the new ball and has been troubling our Indian openers with the lengths which he's been bowling and that extra bounce which he's been getting. So I think they've just gone back to the base thought of backing what their strength is.
So are you saying that we will see, when Australia is bowling, we will see a bit of Turner if Mohali is a bit of a Turner?
Absolutely.
That's it, is it? I'm just
if it's a Turner, Turner has to come and play.
Yeah, he has to, right?
If it is the Turner, Turner will turn.
Turner will turn. Will he turn or will he not? I don't know. He doesn't really turn the ball that much. But you have a lot of bowling options. Australia, 4 proper bowlers. And then between Turner, Maxwell and Stoinis, Finch has a lot of options to play around with. And of course, Australia will take the confidence of the previous game and the runs that they put together, 313 in Ranchi. That's no mean feat. And of course, winning that game with an almost 200 opening partnership, they'd be looking at this and going, all right, man, we should back ourselves with our batting. I mean, their bowling has done decently anyway. But Ajay, today, he'll be saying, all right, no problem. India puts up 300. We just got 300 day before yesterday. We can do this.
Yeah, I think confidence will be there, and that will be there, and it'll probably play on Indian batsmen's mind as well. That they will be looking
what's
for
the
a score.
target? Yeah,
because we're in Australia and here the first few games, you weren't so worried about Australia. You thought they don't have that batting to. Nobody's holding the innings together. They were playing dangerous innings here and there. But the 2 games that they've really beaten us, one is this one day and that 190 that they chased. In both those innings, what has happened? The top 3 guy in that case, it was Maxwell who came in at 3. Was he at 3 right at the top and he got 100? So they could chase that big score. Now you have 2 guys. 193 is almost 100, and Khwaja also getting 100. So they will be much more confident now when they go into a chase, because the chase is no more about how many to get. The modern day players don't worry about 10 overs 90, 10 overs 80. That's not a worry for them.
Yeah.
But if it's 10 overs 70, but with only 5 wickets, 4 wickets in hand, that's the worry. So it's the wickets at the top, and that worry is not at least mentally, it's not there for Australia anymore, and that will give them the confidence.
Yeah, so it is. I mean, after the first game, everybody thought, oh, will it be whitewash? After the second game, it got close. They said, can we make it 3-0? It's become 2-1 now. And if Australia can make it 2-all today in Mohali, then as observers of the game, we go, oh, the last game becomes very juicy. And we always like that. We don't like one-sided games. We want India to win, but we don't like one-sided games. We have such a moral dilemma. Let's just move on from that and show you the other moral dilemma, which is the joy factor question, because it's always a dilemma. Where do you get this from? Do you try to Google it and crack it? No, that's a moral dilemma. Don't do it. This is for cricket nerds. Who is the only Indian cricketer to captain India in all the tests he played for the country? Now, why is the Australia playing 11 come? Go back to the question. The question, who is the only Indian cricketer to captain India in all the tests he played for the country? Which means he captained in his debut test.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? So he did tell me who did that for New Zealand. Quickly, come on.
Lee Germon.
Lee Germon!
Nobody would have heard of him.
Yeah, Lee Germon, wicket-keeper, who made his test debut for New Zealand and was the captain. But hey, we ain't talking about New Zealand, mate. Yeah. We're talking about India.
Yeah.
Who's done this for India?
Maybe there is...
Vijay Hazare? Vijay Marchand?
Should I give you?
Vijay Manjrekar?
Answer do. Hint.
Vijay Shankar? There, you give a hint?
Era.
He knows the answer, yeah. He knows the answer.
You know the answer.
ये तो यार कमाल कर रहे हो,
If he knows someone who is from New Zealand,
One sec. Is he one of your uncles? Is he related to you?
No, but no, my uncles mostly they played for England. The first two generations played for England.
Yeah.
There's only one uncle who played for India, and he didn't captain.
Yes.
So, and I didn't captain in Test match. So none of us captained Indian Test cricket.
Interesting.
So for 4 generations we played Test cricket, but nobody captained India.
India. Interesting.
But there is some sort of relation. When you get the answer, I'll tell you what.
Okay, cool. So give us your answers. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. It's on Twitter. So send us a tweet and tell us what the answer is. The joy factor question. Apparently there was some mistake in the Australia playing 11. Let's just put it up because we've got a correction now that's come in.
Yeah, because I saw it on the.
Yeah, I think Marcus Stoinis is also not playing. Yeah, so Hanscom is playing, so delete everything we said about him, right?
Why would you leave Stoinis
Ashton
out?
Turner's come in place of Marcus Stoinis.
That's an injury problem.
That's a strain. Yeah. That's a rest. That's not a drop.
No, not a rest. That
has to be a forced change.
Forced change.
Forced change. Apparently, there's a.
Or he said something to the captain. Maybe he's had a fight.
No. There's an issue with
then you don't get a contract when you start questioning captain and coach.
No, there's an issue with his thumb. But that I don't mean he did. No, that's not the issue. He didn't do that to the captain. Apparently, some issue with his thumb, and that's why he, couldn't hitch a ride from Ranchi to Mohali. So he's not made it. So he's not there. So now you have Hanscom and Ashton Turner playing. I'm going to pull the 11 up. We got to go, but I'm going to pull it up once again and just show it to people. So now this batting order becomes quite interesting because suddenly the hard hitter Stoinis is not there, and now Ashton Turner's overs actually become extremely crucial, right? Because otherwise you're counting on Maxwell to come in for 10, and that's not going to happen. So which means that Turner and Maxwell are going to be sharing fifth bowler duties today. Suddenly this team is looking different.
Yeah, it looks a lot weaker, especially with Stoinis batting missing. Forget about the bowling. Bowling they may get away because they've lost the toss and they're fielding first. But that batting of Stoinis, the form that he's in, you might miss him.
And 3 and 4, which means is a similar dimension of player. Ones who can sort of weave the game here and there, Sean Marsh and Peter Hanscom, but can't really force the pace. And that's where they will miss Stoinis as well. You might see them broken up actually. You might just see Maxwell coming in a little higher. All right, but we have enough time to discuss that because Australia is going to be batting second. India, of course, is batting first. A real quick score prediction, guessing game before we go. Remember the rules. There has to be a 10-run difference between all guesses, right? So, let him go first. 320, chalo, pehle aa gaye. 325.
335.
335. Why not? प्यार किया तो डरना क्या?
अपने को थोड़ी बनाने, उन्होंने बनाने.
So you said 325, 335. I'll go with 315.
You had no other choice.
5015.
15. 315, 325, 335. What's your score prediction? Send us that also on hashtag Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Big thank you to Ajay, Jadeja and Zaheer Khan. We, of course, will come back at the end of the 15th over for the Sri Lankan Airlines and Visit Melbourne present Cricbuzz Combox for a little update. Then it's time for us to go. Easy. Bye-bye. Is it au revoir?